And welcome to Coming Down the Aisle. I am the Big J Bodowski. We're here for some bracketology, and I've got my co-host, the Ultimate Miles. What's up, Miles?
Oh, another day in paradise, brother.
Trying to do my best fake sports announcer, Bill Walton. I don't know what's going on here. But welcome to the a special edition of Coming Down the Aisle. We're going to have some bracketology. This won't be that long, little 15-minute little podcast here. Um, if you're listening to this on Tuesday morning, check this out. Check out the at Coming Down the Aisle on Instagram for all the voting information. We're gonna go through real quick 64 greatest wrestlers, and so basically the way I kind of broke this down, I asked for Pod Foundation, Miles as well too. We got gave them the top 25. I kind of put everybody's picks in there, make sure everybody had their picks in there, and just based off of how many times they got put in their top 25. That's how the seating came out. So I don't want to hear any bitching or moaning. Oh, why is so and so number one? We'll explain as we go along. But of course, this is a Pod Foundation production, a collective of independent podcasters from myself, Coming Down the Aisle, Chick Foley, Turnbuckle Tavern, and Extra Cooler. So be sure to check all those things out. And then, of course, you can head over to comingdowntheaislepod.com. Make sure you rate and review. All right, let's get to it real quick. So, if you're watching, I'm actually going to also have this on YouTube. So if you want to put this on, look at this on YouTube, you can look at the brackets, but also you can check out Coming Down the Aisle. I'll have the brackets up there as well too. Real quick, let's break this down. So, like I said, I took everybody's top 25 just based off of how many times they were like close to the top positions and so on. So our number one seeds are Ric Flair, number one. And number one is another number one is HBK, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Sting. Sting is number one, is in the number one spot. So I know Miles was cringing when I said HBK.
Oh yeah,
but we made it up with Stinger, so we're good. Like I said, this is all just based off of people's top 25s. And then what I did for number 16, if you notice, we've got some Joberts, the superstars Joberts. Barry Horowitz is number 16. We got Iron Mike Sharp. We got Brooklyn Brawler and Gilbert. It's their number 16 seeds. So real quick, we're gonna kind of go through the bracket real quick here. We got Ric Flair versus Barry Horowitz. So this is in the Ric Flair bracket. Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. Scott Hall versus Ted DiBiase. Taz versus John Cena. Rock versus Vince McMahon. Sid versus Daniel Bryan. Jake the Snake versus Rey Mysterio. Vader versus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is, of course, the number two. So your traditional top picks, you got Hogan number two. Number three is The Rock in this one, and four is John Cena. Overall thoughts on this bracket? Do you see any surprises happening? Any type of bracket busters based off of this bracket? Maybe even give your quick, I don't know, final four. Your last. Who's going to win out of this bracket in your opinion?
Out of this bracket, I would say winning wise. Let me give it a good look. I'm gonna go. So are these wins based on voting?
Yeah, so we vote based off of voting.
Oh, then yeah. I got to go Flair all the way then.
Flair's going to go all the way. He'll hit the final four.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see too many surprises in this one. I think just looking at it offhand, you could have Rey Mysterio's ranked number is 10th seed. He could go pretty far into it. He's right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but he's towards the bottom of the bracket. But Rey Mysterio's in the 10th seed. He could go pretty far. Really, there was just a whole lot of people that put him in that top 25 spot. The Roman versus AJ will be very interesting to see where that goes because they're both big fan favorites right now.
Yeah.
I don't see Rick and losing to either one of those, but it could happen. It could happen. Potentially could happen. But I think you're right. I think Flair's got this one pretty secured up.
He has more of a cred as being a good wrestler too. So he covers the gamut of like well known and then wrestlers that are actually good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas Hogan would flounder because, for one, a lot of people hate Hogan. But
come on, Vader, beat him. But yeah, so hey, that would be great if we got Vader Hogan upset there, right there off the bat. Okay, so let's head over to the other side of the bracket, which is going to be the HBK bracket. Real quick, I'll knock it out real quick. HBK versus Gilbert. Mr. Perfect versus Eddie Guerrero. That's like a tough one. Mick Foley versus William Regal. Luger versus Triple H. Andre versus Sean Waltman. Kane versus Ricky Steamboat. Kevin Nash versus, little typo, Rob Van Dam. And Terry Funk versus Bret Hart. Notice I put Bret Hart and HBK in the same bracket, maybe.
You got to make that choice somewhere.
Yeah. So look, controversy creates cash. Any major upsets you see in this one? And I think I know who your Final Four pick is going to be, but who you got? Uh-oh. You back?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Did you hear my answer? My question?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So who do you think your the Final Four? So we got a couple of potential upsets in here, but who do you think your Final Four pick is? I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
I'm gonna go all the way with my boy, man, with Mr. Canada himself,
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, it really could go either Sean or him, and I'm not gonna ever side against Bret when it comes to Sean. So.
Right.
So, but this, like I said though, this is a deciding one. Like this is like I think there's two front runners, and you're either on one side or the other.
Right. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think a potential upset right here: Sean Waltman over Andre. I think that could happen.
I do too, and that's really subjective. Really is. I mean, if I'm gonna give my pick, I would go Waltman. But that's very subjective. That's like either you're a certain age or you're another age. Like there's two,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you got Mr. Perfect and Eddie Guerrero in that 8-9 spot. Of course, that's always going to be really, really close between those two.
Yeah,
and then it always is. But man, that's going to be a tough one too. Luger versus Triple H. I could see possibly
that's easy for me, but
I could see Luger potentially getting it.
Yeah.
William Regal, I could see him possibly upsetting Foley. I mean, because
with him showing up recently
in AEW,
gets good steam going.
Yeah, so we got a couple potential upsets here. Anything else from that bracket you want to discuss?
No, I really think it's going to be down to Bret and Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some weird upsets in between those.
Yeah,
I think all in all, it's going to get down to those two.
Right. All right, so let's head over to the Sting bracket. Okay, so real quick, we got Sting versus Brooklyn Brawler, Seth Rollins versus British Bulldog, another tight match. Dusty Rhodes versus Samoa Joe. That's a cool matchup. Scott Steiner versus Bruno Sammartino, which is weird sounding. Chris Jericho versus Arn Anderson. JBL versus Randy Orton. Kenny Omega versus Sergeant Slaughter, and DDP versus The Undertaker.
That's a good one, man. I mean,
I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So that you might end up with that Sting Undertaker matchup
exactly.
at the end.
I'm gonna repeat what I said about the last one. It's gonna be down to those two.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Just based off of that top portion of that bracket, I could see potentially Seth upsetting Sting, depending on how people vote. I could see it happening. I don't know if it will happen because Sting is pretty over in AEW too right now.
Yeah,
so
he's got a good resurgence of like credibility.
Right, I could see Jericho upsetting the Undertaker too. Like that could happen.
Yeah. With that being said, he's stayed very relevant.
Yeah. Even Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, he's in that 7th spot. You know, you never know what happens right there as well too. Kenny's kind of in a tough spot, but you know, it'll be interesting to see. Orton, number 6, that would be pretty easy, you know. But you could have Jericho versus Orton. That'll be a tough match. You know, Orton can. There's a lot of what ifs right here because you could have Orton upset Jericho right there. Um, I'm very interested to see how Scott Steiner and Bruno Sammartino because I think I could get upset there too. I got all these golden era people like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But it depends on who's that. You know, but man, this is an interesting bracket. Do you have a Final Four pick here?
Realistically, I see Undertaker, but I want Sting, so I see it going down to those two. Realistically, those two. I don't see another guy. I don't see anybody else in that bracket not being in the final of this bracket, or you know, versus Sting or Undertaker.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I think it'll probably come down to Sting and Undertaker. It's a good chance. So we could let's I think it'll probably come down to Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know, I'm right there with you with the HBK Brett. It's a toss up. I mean, for me, you know, I'm slightly more of an HBK guy, slightly more.
Yeah.
So I could see either way happening, and then I think you're right with Ric Flair. So, all right, let's head over to the final bracket, and that is the Stone Cold Steve Austin bracket. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Iron Mike Sharp, Rick Rude versus Owen Hart, Edge versus Goldberg, Brian Pillman versus Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock, Big Show versus Ultimate Warrior, CM Punk versus Yokozuna, and Malachi Black versus Randy Savage.
That one is the most stacked.
Yeah,
dude. Oh man.
Yeah. It's gonna be
those were some last minute bangers. I forgot about Macho Man, and then you said it, and I was like, whoa.
Okay. Yeah. This is gonna be tough. A tough bracket for sure. You're gonna have some major upsets in this one.
I see it coming down. If I was gonna pick two, Macho and Stone Cold. That's just because. Yeah.
I mean, I could see easily Punk making a run.
True, that's true. I think
towards the end.
I think Austin and somebody. I guess that's a safer bet.
We gotta look at this bracket here. Brock can make a run. You know, Edge can make a run.
Kurt Angle.
But I think Austin will get into the Elite 8. And you're gonna have, you're gonna have some major people out early. I
would want to say that I couldn't not see Macho Man making it all the way, but that's also, it could go with, you know, people's perception. I don't know.
I could. I'm sorry. I could see CM Punk and Austin in the Elite 8.
Yeah, that's a good one. That would be a good. I mean, I could be happy with that.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to go Austin here, you know, but I think he's just gonna maybe have that slight edge. Look, the last couple of years, like last year, I did one with all the matches. There was a lot of matches I was surprised that made it where it was at. And I mean, at the end, the final match was one for the best match was HBK versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. Understandable, you know, like it's a definitely top one. So I think it's gonna go like more of the popular favorite, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, like the kind of easy way out.
Right. So that's why I think it's gonna be Austin. So I'm gonna put my final four here as Ric Flair, HBK, Undertaker, Austin. Any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I could go a little different, but I could see it going the way that, like, I could see it that way, 100%. I see Flair for sure, Austin for sure, and then either Sting and Undertaker or Brett and Sean.
Yeah.
So those are all safe, I think, on those. But 2 locks are Austin and Flair on their brackets.
Yeah. I think unfortunately, I think we're gonna have Randy Savage out early. I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Final Four for me, but that's also my opinion. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting. So, like I said, head over to @coming down the aisle on Instagram. Like I said, if you listen to this Tuesday morning on noon today, I'll have those the voting put up there. So check that out. So who do you think you see winning it all off of your Final Four?
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I think so too.
He's one that I don't think I can say anyone doesn't have in their top 10. He's still relevant to an extent. He's still alive, so that keeps him a little more realistically relevant. Yeah, I just think, and I think he was so over at a time when everybody thought he was cool, thought wrestling was cool. So,
right,
yeah,
cool.
His appeal spreads way more than everybody else.
Yeah, especially with pro wrestling. Like,
yeah,
I mean, look at the stuff with Kevin Owens. I mean, he's generated that buzz. People are excited about WrestleMania again. You know, that kind of thing. So, for sure. All right. Well, yeah. Like I said, this has been a little special edition of Coming Down the Aisle Bracketology with myself and Miles. Go back and check out our list that we put up Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. Top 10 Razor moments / Scott Hall moments. And of course, I'll have another episode Coming Down the Aisle. But until next month, we'll catch y'all on the flippity flip. Peace.